Social Zoom Factor, episode 203.
Driving results in business these days takes something special. It's a combination of the right info and the right energy. Pam Moore has both and is here to help you avoid the pitfalls and guide your business and life by leveraging and integrating social media, powerful branding, and digital marketing. Welcome to Social Zoom Factor. Now it's time to live life zoomed.
Are you ready to take your new idea to fruition? One of the first things you need to do is get your business online. Our partner HostGator can take you from zero to turbo fast. Download their Get Online the Easy Way ebook and receive a coupon code for 30% off any new hosting package. Simply visit socialzoomfactor.com/HostGatorEasy or simply text HostGator to 33444. The Marketing Nuts Agency helps companies transform their social and digital business from the inside out. Visit their website at www.themarketingnutswithaz.com for a client list, case studies, and some amazing free resources to get you started down the path of success. Hey there, Zoomers, and welcome to Social Zoom Factor. This is your host, Pam Moore. Hope you are doing fantabulous today. All right, today I hope that you have your smart business hat on, and we are going to be digging into some details around how you can determine, set, and prioritize your goals when it comes to digital media and social media marketing. So we're going to be talking about how can you develop and determine and figure out what your goals are when it comes to social media and digital marketing. And that's one of the top questions that I get. I do a ton of keynote speaking and workshops and training, and we work with clients of all sizes, from small funded startups all the way up to enterprise Fortune 10 brands. We help them with their digital and their social media strategies and execution. So the top question I get, no matter where I am, who I'm talking to, is, Pam, how do I develop my plan? How do I prioritize what goals are going to help me get to where I need to go? How do I determine whether I focus on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of those good things? Now, I'll tell you, we only have, this won't be longer than about 30 minutes today, so I can't solve all your problems in one podcast. However, I can help you today set some direction on where you need to focus. So that is the objective for today, that I'm going to give you some ideas and a couple different frameworks that you can leverage in understanding what it means to set social media goals, why it's so important that you need to make sure you understand your business and your market and you know what you're trying to do as a brand, okay? Because a lot of people look at social and they think, oh, I'm going to go jump on social media and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and it's going to solve all my business problems. I'm going to be able to increase awareness and get more sales if I just tweet the right stuff. That could not be further from the truth. All right. You need to dig into your business, to your audience. You need to know what your audience needs from you. And that's why I preach and teach that at every session I ever do for workshops and through this podcast. You've heard that. Okay. So there's no way around it. There's no way you can put a Band-Aid on your business if you don't have goals, if you don't know your audience, and expect social media to help either of those things. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, the way I'm going to break down this content today is, first, we're going to talk about foundations and 4 major categories where goals are usually going to be centered around. Then we are going to talk about SMART goals, and that is where goals are specific, they are measurable, they are attainable, they are relevant, and they are time-bound. And included will be an example we'll walk through. Then we are going to talk about some examples of specific type of business goals where social media can actually have an impact. And then we are going to be talking about social media goals and how we can start to align social media and digital marketing goals to those business goals. Got it? Get it? Got it? Good. All right. So the 4 areas where goals are usually going to center around when it comes to social and digital marketing. Number 1 are brand goals. So these are going to be things like awareness, perception, positioning, establishing thought leadership. So this is how your brand is perceived in the market, how your brand is known, how your brand, what your reputation looks and feels like. It's that experience that you are giving your customers. What do people think of your brand? You can spend all day, every day working on a brand strategy and architecture. And if at the same time you're giving your customers a terrible experience, customer experience is your brand. So many brands utilize social media to help improve brand awareness, to help improve brand perception, to help improve brand sentiment and those types of things. And I just recently did a podcast on how to build your social and digital marketing branding strategy. So I encourage you to check that out. And everything I talk about today, I have a ton of episodes that I've done in the past and a ton of resources for you to download. And instead of listing all them out, I will put them on the show notes page /blog post for this episode. Just go to socialzoomfactor.com/203 because this is episode 203. Okay. Second foundation that goals usually center around is your business. So these obviously are things like sales. Okay. Which means we need to have conversions. We need to be able to convert lookers into buyers. Right? It's about the know, like, and trust factor. They need to know you. They need to like you. They need to trust you before they're going to want to get in a relationship with you. So we can utilize social media to help us nurture business relationships, to help us improve share of voice, to help us better understand feedback we get from our customers about our services and our products, to help improve that customer experience in so many different ways. Third area that goals usually center around are audience and community. So this means we are building community. We are building something that is bigger than ourselves, right? Something that we can all do that is much bigger when we do it together than if we do it standalone as one. So it's really important we understand what it means to build a community. Why are we building a community? We're not building a community so we can just blab about ourselves all day. We're building a community for a reason A, B, and C. Right? We can tap into the power of other people's communities, other people's content. I talk about that a ton. Fourth area for goals is the human factor, right? And this includes your internal human factor. So that would be your employees. So we can do a lot of work with social around employee empowerment and helping our employees establish their personal brand and their personal branding presence out on the social and digital web. It can include, just making sure our employees are living our value promise, right? That they know what our brand is about. They are invested in that because everything they do online and offline is a brand touch. Everybody that knows your employees work with you in your company, everything they do online is impacting brand perceptions. Same thing goes for external when it comes to the human factor. We want to make sure we are connecting with our audience in a human way. Okay. So it's brand, it's business, it's audience and community, and it's human. Through those different types of goal areas, we are looking at our audience. We are looking at our business. We are looking at internal and external factors. These things require monitoring. They require engagement. They require content strategies and creation. They require us to understand every touch, every like, every follow, tweet, visual image is a reflection of our brand. And we need to know what our business goals are so that we can align social where we can have the greatest impact. Okay. It's not what the tech can do for you, but what you can do with the technology. And that's one of the biggest risk factors many brand marketers have is they spend way too much time chasing shiny objects. And then they wonder why they're working 24 hours a day and getting no result. It's because they're spending half their day on platforms that are really irrelevant to their audience, right? Which is why you need to make sure you understand your audience. And I've talked a ton about this in so many episodes. If you have not prioritized your audience, and I mean getting to the persona level, make sure that you download our audience analysis worksheet. And it's based upon the Forrester Research Post methodology, which is a framework for developing your social media strategy and plan. And you can download that at socialzoomfactor.com/audience. But when we help our clients and ourselves in developing social media strategies and plans, we leverage the Forrester Post methodology. And it's basically people, objectives, strategy, and last is technology and tactics. And anytime I speak or train, and if I ask people in the room, what is the number one thing you think of when it comes to social media? 90% of the people in the room will raise their hand and they will say Facebook or they will say Twitter because they are thinking of the technology. They're thinking of the shiny objects. Instead, what the post analysis does is it forces you to think about your audience first. Who is your audience? What do they need from you? What are their objectives? The S is a strategy for how are you going to improve the relationship with that audience member. And last, you select the tools and the technology. So if you've never looked at that, I highly encourage you to download the worksheet that I mentioned and really start to dig into who your audience is, because social truly is about a conversation and it's about relationships. And if you don't know the person on the other end of the Twitter handle, on the people who are liking and following you and commenting and engaging with you, then you're not going to be able to nurture relationships with them. You need to not only know who your ideal customer is, but you also need to know who is the audience that you have that's already following you. Why are they following you? Are they the right people that are following and engaging with you? And make sure that you know where your audience is, your ideal customer is, and that you have a top goal to figure out where they are hanging out online and how you can go have the most relevant conversation with them that you possibly can. So now let's shift gears a little bit and let's talk about the SMART goals and objectives. All right. First, it needs to be specific. So this basically means it needs to be simple and well defined. Okay. Yes, it could be a big pie in the sky type of goal, vision, but you need to solve world hunger if that's your goal. Tell me, how are you going to get there? All right. You want to be the top brand in your niche? Great. That's not a specific measurable goal. How are you going to do that? It needs to be simple. It needs to be well defined. Next, we have measurable. So what does success look like? Where are you going and why? KPI, so key performance indicators. Many people get confused with goals and objectives. KPIs help you measure the transformation, where business goals and objectives are defining where you're going and why. So that's why you need the business goals first, so you can align social media to those business goals, right? You can't just go hire an agency. Okay, I want to go increase my Facebook following. Why do you want to increase your Facebook following? What are you going to do once you have more people that are in your community on Facebook or Twitter or any social network, right? Where are you going and why? Next, it needs to be attainable. So I recently did an episode on how to get your social media budget approved. And I talk a lot about focusing on the back pond versus boiling the ocean. So I highly encourage you to check that episode out. But make sure you're focusing on things like your foundation, about your mindset, about factoring in the actual and the available resources that you have, right? You need to know what resources you have to implement your goals and objectives and your plan. If you do not have resources and you've set some big fat hairy goal, you are setting yourself up to fail. And I tell you, we work with brands of all sizes, and I have seen digital and social marketing teams just be slaughtered because they have not set proper goals. They set too high of goals. They've grabbed too high a budget or not enough budget, and they never reach those goals, and they wound up, all being laid off. So do not let that be you. You need to make sure you are being realistic with what those goals and objectives are. Next, we have relevant. So does it matter to your business? Does it matter to your your audience and to your market? How specifically is it going to impact your business? You need to know that for it to be relevant. And last but not least, we have time bound. So be honest and be realistic with the time frame for meeting your goals. Is it going to take 30 days, 60 days, 1 year, depending on the goal set? Know your foundation, know your audience, and know why you are doing what you're doing. So let me give you a quick example on a SMART goal. So let's say we have a specific goal. We want to grow our Instagram or Facebook community. Okay. And we're tying that to a business goal, which we are wanting to increase the number of subscribers on our email list. Okay. So that's why we're wanting to grow our Instagram or our Facebook community. That's the specific goal. Measurable. It is we need a specific number for growth. We need metrics for engagement, okay? So maybe we want it to grow by 10%. You pick a specific metric that you're going to track. Attainable means the number and the goal must be realistic within our available resources. So when we're setting that goal for growth of that Facebook or Instagram community, we are being realistic. And sometimes that number may seem small. You may say, okay, I want to get 300 followers on Instagram in the next 30 days. If you are a brand new brand and nobody knows who you are and you have no budget to grow your following, that may be a realistic goal. It may not. So you need to figure that out. Relevant. Is it supporting our business objectives, our goals, our vision, our mission? Okay. Yes, it is, because we said we wanted to grow our email list, which is going to help us nurture relationships. And let's say for this example, we want to learn more about our customers. We want to increase some conversions. We have a funnel we want to get them into where we can sell them a product or a service, maybe a training course. Okay. Time bound. When is it due? What is the deadline? Over time, what does that growth and engagement look like? So what is going to happen in the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days? That is how we are driving a time-bound goal and objective. All right. So now we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about some specific business goals and objectives. And then we'll talk about some specific KPIs, key performance indicators. But before I dig into that, please give a quick listen to our sponsors because they are what keeps this podcast going. I will be right back. The new year brings a time for evaluation, reflection, and planning. As an entrepreneur, you know your product, your target market, and how you are going to differentiate from competition to achieve success. One thing that often gets forgotten, though, is the online foundation. Do you have the right digital foundation to build a structurally sound business, or are you building on sand and hoping it will hold? Successful businesses are built on steady ground. You need a blueprint for success, curb appeal, and security. Our partner HostGator can help you do this and more. Download their Business Builder Kit, inclusive of 9 steps for planning your website, 10 mistakes to avoid on your homepage, and 3 easy steps to protect your website from hackers. Simply go to socialzoomfactor.com/HostGatorBiz or text HostGatorBiz to 33444. Again, that is socialzoomfactor.com/HostGatorBiz or text HostGatorBiz to 33444. Do you ever feel stuck in a rut, like your online business and social business isn't all that it could be? The Marketing Nuts Agency helps small businesses clear up to the Fortune 50 brands, provide clarity and vision for current and future programs. The Marketing Nuts believe in ROI-driven decision-making while still inspiring audiences with relevant content. From social business strategy and consultation, influencer marketing, to corporate training and workshops, and fully outsourced digital and social programs. The Marketing Nuts helps you prioritize your investment, impact business goals, and inspire your audience to invest in a relationship with you. To start the conversation, visit www.themarketingnuts.com. I'm back. Okay, now let's talk about the fun part. What are actual business goals that we can align social media to? Okay, this is where it gets fun. If you are a business geek, you'll probably love this part. Okay, so business goals, the way I want you to think about business goals is these are the desired shifts. These are the shifts that we want to make in our business. Don't just think of some big goal that you don't understand. When you think about it as a shift, for me and for a lot of our clients, it makes it easier for them to digest and to figure out what that goal is. So let's talk about some of these. One, maybe you want to learn more about your customer. Okay, so you're learning about your customer. You're admitting you don't know everything you need to know about your customer. And that can be really overwhelming. And particularly when we work with small, medium businesses, they just give up. They're like, you know what? I don't know my customer. I don't have money to know my customer. Don't give up. Take the time to understand your customer. Social media can give you such an opportunity to better understand your customer. And I talked about that in a past episode in detail of how you can utilize social media to learn about your customer. So I'll make sure I link to that on the show notes page. But more intimate relationships, the better you know your customer, the better you're going to be able to provide a better customer experience. And remember, customer experience is our brand. So we can utilize social to learn about our customer. Maybe we want to increase sales. That's a pretty obvious one. All right. So exactly how are we going to do that? Okay. We want to improve relationships. We want to empower our sales reps or our business development team or product teams or, our executives to be able to nurture relationships utilizing social media. We sometimes refer to this as social selling, and they're just doing it by being authentic, by being transparent, by sharing relevant content. And we teach a lot of these workshops with many of our clients. And if you need help, we can come into your environment, to your organization and launch a full-blown social selling training program and employee empowerment program where we can just dive in and focus in on that. So if you know you have a team of salespeople or business development people, or it could be realtors, it could be feet on the street type folks, and you know that they have great networks out there, but they are not tapping into the power of social, that could be a really quick way for you to improve that sales cycle, for you to decrease the time it takes for you to close a new deal. Talk about ROI. We've seen some amazing case studies of how quickly sales cycles can be reduced in time by leveraging social media to nurture real relationships and to prospect and to reach out to people in an authentic way. What about increasing customer loyalty, right? We can grow an email list to nurture relationships. Probably with your clients, you already have their email. So you can start to utilize email marketing. You can find them on social. There are tools out there that will enable us to figure out where your customers, your existing customers, are already hanging out online. And then we can go make sure that we're there, that we are involved in the communities that they are participating, that we are partnering with some of the media that they are reading. Maybe we start syndicating content, right? So I want you to look at this in a much bigger way than maybe what you have done in the past. It's not just about tweeting. It's how can we leverage the larger ecosystem, but in specific ways to drive our objectives. Maybe we want to drive brand awareness in new markets, right? Maybe we want sentiment shifts. We want to change the sentiment and the tone of what people are talking about our brand, our products, and our service. We want to make that more positive, right? We want that to become more positive over a specific time. Maybe we want to improve customer satisfaction via improved customer service, that we utilize some of the social channels. And there's many brands that I am a loyal customer of, that I am a loyal customer because of their social support. HostGator is one of them. HostGator is now a sponsor for this podcast and our full media platform. But I don't promote them just because they're our sponsor. I first was their customer and I believe in what they do. All I need to do is send one tweet to them when I have a problem and they are on it. They put that ticket into their, support system and they solve the problem. And then I just approve that resolution through email. right? Because your systems are never going to go down on a Monday morning at 8. It always seems to be on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock. So they have kept me as a loyal customer through valued customer support and service that I get online. Same thing goes with Bright House, right? They have a great social support, social care department that takes care of me. Brand perception. We talked about that earlier. How is your brand perceived in the market? How is your brand positioned in the market? Maybe you need to position it in a different light. Maybe you need to establish the foundation for the positioning. That would be a great business goal, marketing goal. Maybe you want to build community. So are you looking to grow a community that can be bigger than what any of us can do today, right? There may be specific goals and objectives you have around community engagement, community building, community nurturing, right? I've talked a ton about that for the past 6 years online. So check out my blog at pammarketingnut.com, and my podcast is just loaded with information on how to build communities. And then we have influencer advocates and tribes. So maybe you have a goal that you want to establish relationships with influencers in your industry or niche. You want to make sure that you have loyal brand advocates and evangelists, both internal and external. Another business goal may be talent recruiting and retention. This is a big thing for us. We are growing really fast. Our agency, the Marketing Nuts, our team's going to triple over the next 6 months. And so talent recruiting is really big for us. We're able to tap into the power of social to help us find amazing talent from all over the globe that we can bring in-house to do wonderful things. So there you have it. There are some specific type of business goals. Now, the key is to figure out how you can leverage social media to help you achieve that goal. Social media goals are how you get there. It's how you're going to, it's one component of how you're going to better achieve that goal. So you need to make sure that you are building a foundation of digital and social that's going to help you with brand awareness. It's going to help you with perception, community, relationships, with sales, whatever those goals may be, growing your email list. So when you start to look at it from a business goal and objective perspective, then it makes it a lot easier not to chase shiny objects. Okay, so for example, if you were just starting out in the world of social and digital and you don't yet have a blog or a website that is mobile responsive, that anybody can view on an iPad, an iPhone, an Android device, or their desktop, and it is going to have a positive and engaging and impactful and relevant customer experience, you need to start there. If you've been spending the last 2 months on platforms like Periscope and Blab and trying to chase all these shiny objects, and you're wondering why you are not achieving your business goals and objectives, it's because you need to build your house first, right? So you need to build that foundation, and then over time you can tap into some of those, what you may see as shiny objects now. You can start to tap into them to help you achieve specific goals around building community and nurturing relationships and building your email list, because the gold is in your email list. I'm telling you, no matter what type of business you are in, if you can nurture relationships through email, it's going to help you. Okay. So it could be that you need to better know your audience. So now you need to set some specific social media goals and tactics that are going to help you know your audience. Who are they? What do they know? What do they not know? What do they need from you? How are you going to help them solve their problems? You need to develop a content strategy, a content plan, and a content calendar that helps you achieve your goals, that helps you either increase brand awareness, build relationships with your audience, help establish your brand as a thought leader, or all of the above. You may need to increase engagement, increase number of clicks on your social properties and links so that brings more traffic to your blog. But remember, traffic and visitors to your blog or your website, they're tourists, they're visitors. So you need to be looking at things like your bounce rate. How quickly are people bouncing out of your website or blog when they land there? If 80% of the people are bouncing out when they get to your front page, you're losing them at hello. right? So you need to be looking at some of those key performance indicators and figuring out what's happening with that social and digital platform. And you could be putting all the money you have into Twitter ads or Facebook ads, driving traffic. And if they're bouncing out when they land on your site, it's all for nothing, right? You need to fix that conversion funnel. So you may have a goal to increase conversions, to increase sales, to grow that email list. You need to know what those specific goals and objectives, and then you need to get very, very tactical on exactly how are you going to do that, right? And that's where we get into the development of your social media plan with a 6 month to 18-month calendar that's telling you what you're going to do, when, and how. So there you have it. This specific podcast today was designed to talk about what are social media goals? How do we align to business goals? And how can we just understand the foundation for what these goals are centered around? So I hope that I gave you some useful information to help you structure your thinking as you are thinking about how you are going to prioritize your social media activities. And that if nothing else, you've realized you need to start with your audience, and you need to start with your own brand and your business goals and objectives. You need to start there. And over the next few weeks, we will be digging into a lot of these, and I'll be, peeling back the layers and helping you understand how you can set smart goals and objectives around some of these key areas and where social can have an impact. So stay tuned. Make sure that you subscribe to the series out on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or SoundCloud, or your flavor of choice. And I thank you so much for hanging out with me today on this podcast, Social Zoom Factor. I wish you the best of success in the year to come. That's a wrap.
If you're ready to Zoom your business and Zoom your life, then don't let the end of this episode be the end of your journey. Visit socialzoomfactor.com/Zoom for incredible free resources and guides. And be sure to join the Social Zoom Factor mailing list so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time on Social Zoom Factor.